Hi there. It is Melanie with Tampa Book Reviews. Today I'm actually going to review a book. I don't have the physical copy with in front of me. It is The Bridge Back to You by Riss Nielsen. I had to read this pretty quickly because I was borrowing it, and it's a fairly new book, so I didn't have a huge amount of time to read it. And I did read it quickly. It was a really engaging book. It is the story of two chefs, Olivia and Carmelo, in a second chance romance story where they met at his mother's family restaurant. She ends up working there before she leaves. They fell in love, and she left, really, I guess, without saying as much to him. He was very angry about it. She stays in touch with the mom, and when the mom dies, she leaves part of the restaurant to the ex-girlfriend to kind of bring her back, which you don't know if it's because the mom feels like she would help the restaurant by coming back and bring something to the restaurant's success, or if it's to really play matchmaker. So the rest of this review will definitely have spoilers. So if you only want to know if it's good, it is a good book, but there are some spoilers I would need to reveal to talk more about in terms of talking about this book critically. So I had sort of two issues with this book. The first one was that there was these descriptors. I feel like we have OCD and endometriosis, and I feel like we were just tagging these things on there when they weren't necessarily necessary. Like we want to have representation of someone with endometriosis, for instance. But the book really wasn't about that. I just felt like some of these things were tacked on to just make it topically about it. The other thing is, this writer has a real tendency of relying on the same exact phrases. So has a little smile, a little smirk. She looks a certain way. And all of these phrases are become very repetitive. And so this is the only book that I've read of Riss M. Nielsen's. So I'm very curious if the book itself is like that, or all books. Is that just how she is as a writer? It becomes very tropey. The third thing is very specific to this book, and it made me so angry. And honestly, it went from like a 4.5 stars to like a 3 star for me because of this. So, in the end, you find out that the mom orchestrated this, giving the business to the ex-girlfriend, and then took it back. And so none of it was real. She had a witness, I guess, involved in it, and that was listed in it or something. So then it like invalidated the will. And then she had some emails that came after the fact. Honestly, it ruined the experience for me. First, without this information, the book really feels like maybe the mom knew that they really needed each other and it was kind of romantic, and she really valued Olivia. And so when she wanted her to come back, it was really this kind of touching thing. But in the end, it was kind of a joke, like it wasn't real. And it kind of made the mom a little evil. Olivia has her own life, her own career. She had to give a lot of that up to come back. She invested money into the business that she would not have invested if she didn't think she was a co-owner of the business. And so it kind of felt a little evil, honestly. And I was sad that the book went that way because I think it was a pretty solid read before that. With that, I don't know that I would necessarily recommend it to other people to read, which is sort of a bummer because I had a really good time with the book, even though I had to read it over only 4 or 5 days, versus having longer with it. I will say that it makes me hesitant to read more of the work that she has. So I'm curious if you have read more of Briss M. Nielsen's books, if you found that they were kind of tropey and had these kind of twists at the end that just really undercut the stories like this one did, because it really was a bummer. I it was really hard. I tried to talk to my husband about the book because it kind of left me a little bit heated because I was like, I can't believe that this is how this book ended. Because it really just, before that, it was a really emotionally powerful story, even if a little tropey and repetitive. Anyway, what do you have to think about this book if you had the chance to read it?